Howdy y'all and welcome to this Halloween special. We're going to take a look at what happened in Halloween weather history back in 1991. We had a blizzard that struck the Twin Cities with over 28 inches of snow, which fell from October 31st all the way into November 4th. We can see all the jack-o'-lanterns that are covered up by snow. And here's a description of what happened on that day. You can see 40-mile-an-hour winds on top of 2 feet of snow resulted in some school closures and business closures, and some kiddos didn't go out trick-or-treating, unfortunately. Cleanup took a good while, and it just caused a lot of major problems in this day in Halloween history. Now, am I expecting anything like that to occur on Halloween this year? We'll just have to find out. But first, we got some severe weather occurring for the next few days, so let's go ahead and get into that, as there's a marginal risk issued from Texas on up into Iowa. Tomorrow, there's a slight risk amongst much of the Central Plains. And on Halloween, there's a marginal risk down by Louisiana. As far as the threats go, today, the main threats are going to be mainly hail and high winds, with no tornado threat, which is some good news. Tomorrow, all hazards are in play. This is looking like a significant threat for large hail, tornadoes, and high winds is looking likely. As far as Halloween goes, we don't know what the main threats are going to be just yet, but make sure you follow my X and Facebook pages, as I will let y'all know what the main hazards will be. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the timing of when you could expect the worst for the severe weather for the next couple of days. We'll have to lower this down to the 12Z run to take a look all the way out into Wednesday. So we look at the marginal risk today. Not much is going to be happening at least until right around 10, 11 o'clock. Keep in mind, high winds and large hail is going to be the primary threat, so make sure you put up anything you don't want blowing around or damage from large hail, as winds are going to be gusting up to upwards of right around 40 to some areas getting in on right around 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And as we push off into Wednesday, keep in mind all hazards are possible, including tornadoes. It's looking like this is going to be another late evening into overnight event. As you can see, some multi-cellular storms are going to start to fire up by right around 10 o'clock Eastern time. It's right around 9 o'clock y'all's time, before it turns more linear by right around midnight into 1 o'clock in the morning. And that's where our damaging wind threat's going to come into play, as around the same amount of wind gusts is going to be possible, with some areas getting in right around 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So again, power outages could be likely for the next couple of days, so be aware of this. And to take a look at our tornado threat, we'll have to take a look at the tornado parameters. This basically shows us tornado fuel, basically puts all the tornado parameters into one run, shows us where the greatest chance of seeing a tornado could be at. And it's looking like the greatest chance is going to be occurring from right around 6 o'clock through right around midnight Eastern time. So definitely a nocturnal event's going to be likely on hump day. So make sure you have a way to receive alerts. Make sure you turn those alerts up to loud, because it's going to be happening in the nighttime hours when you're sleeping most likely. And make sure you know where to take shelter at, preferably storm shelter, basement, closet, interior room away from windows. And if you're in a trailer, make sure you evacuate the trailer if a tornado warning is issued, because a trailer cannot withstand a tornado. And here's the difference between tornado watch, tornado warning, and tornado emergency. Tornado watch means that conditions are favorable for tornadic activity. Tornado warning means a tornado has been spotted. Tornado emergency means a life-threatening tornado is on the ground. So basically, make sure you have those alerts turned on and know where to go when the tornado warning is issued for your location. Now, as far as Halloween severe weather threats go, we don't know what the threats are going to be or the timing, so I will be breaking that down on X and Face. We'll give y'all a rough estimate here in a little bit. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at the tropics, as we do have some tropical activity going on down there. Keep in mind, hurricane season lasts all the way into November 30th. We have a 40% chance of tropical storm development down here in the Caribbean, as well as over here in the Eastern Pacific, with a 20% chance on top of it as well. As we zoom out in North America and take a look at the satellite, we can see we have some clusters of storms down here in the Caribbean, and we have some clusters of storms out here in the Eastern Pacific. As we take a look at the simulated infrared radar, we can see that not much is going to be forming at least until the beginning weeks of November. Down there by Haiti and the Caribbean islands, I would just expect mainly high winds and a lot of flooding to occur. Not really expecting much in the way of sort of any tropical storms or hurricanes. So again, not much to worry about, but definitely monitor that 40% chance down in the Caribbean, as it's looking to be mainly a big old rainmaker, and some high winds could be on top of that as well. Now, as far as the Eastern Pacific goes, if you live out by Hawaii, there's a couple chances of tropical development, but like the Caribbean islands, I would just mainly expect high winds and some flooding. So again, please monitor these tropical conditions if you live out there in the Caribbean and out by Hawaii, as anything can and will change. As we take a look at the sea surface temperatures, We can see they're not really favorable sea surface temperatures because many hurricanes and tropical storms have been working over the Gulf. But there is some energy down here in the Caribbean. But like I said earlier, not expecting much in the way of any sort of tropical storm activity or hurricane activity. Mainly going to be expecting high winds and some flooding. And same goes for Hawaii as well. But again, subject to change, and I will keep y'all updated on X and on Facebook. So now that I covered the severe weather side of things and what kind of tropical storms are going to be heading our way, it's going to take a look at the next couple of weeks, especially on Trick or Treat. We can see today we got some winter storms going on out west as some winter storm warnings and advisories have been issued. Send me any sort of snowfall pictures if you want to on X and Facebook. I'd greatly appreciate that. Get out and enjoy those ski resorts as well. And I'll show you all some ski resort cameras too. Of course, we already know about the severe weather the next couple of days. Watch out for tornadoes if you live amongst the Central Plains, as it's looking like some nocturnal tornadoes could happen. And it's looking like on Halloween night, we could be coming in on some severe weather down here by Louisiana and really some sogging conditions amongst much of the eastern half of the country. So make sure you pack an umbrella if Halloween has not been postponed. And make sure you bundle up if you live up here in the Northwest and even parts of the central part of the country as well. And once we move past Halloween, it's looking like an uptick in some severe weather could occur amongst the central half of the country, as well as some major snowstorms up there in the mountain west. And it's looking like we're entering a very soggy and volatile weather pattern as we head past Halloween and into the beginning weeks of November. But watch as we head into the middle parts of November. It's looking like much of the lower 48 is going to be coming back into a drying trend, although the Northwest is going to be coming in on some heavy rain and heavy snowfall. And we can see, as we head into November, we got a slight risk for heavy precipitation for much of the central and eastern half of the country from the 5th into the 6th, on top of some high winds as well. As we take a look at the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook by the Climate Prediction Center, looks like some drought relief is going to be in store, as well above average precipitation is expected for really much of the country, except from Idaho up into Washington, down into California. In the next 8 to 14 days, really much of the same story, although the GFS was showing in the middle parts of November we could be coming back into a little bit of a drying pattern. Now, of course, subject to change, of course, well out into the future. But according to the Climate Prediction Center, which y'all should trust, it's looking like much of the country is going to be well above average, except for from California up into Minnesota. So now that we know the precipitation pattern for the next couple of weeks, going to take a look at our temperature pattern. We say the next couple of days it's going to be pretty warm. That's why we're going to be dealing with some severe weather, because we got some warm air moving towards the north and cold air moving towards the south. We are in our second severe weather season, by the way, as well. Forgot to mention that. And it's looking like on Halloween, it's looking like it's going to be pretty warm here amongst much of the eastern half of the country, all the way down into Texas, but really chilly from the central and northwestern part of the country. So bundle up if you live over here, and make sure to pack the umbrella if you live over here out east. Once we move past Halloween, it's looking like much of the same back and forth temperatures. Really chilly out west though, warming up out east, but a major cold front's going to start to roll through by right on November 7th. It's looking like well over 200 hours out. And it's going to start to get really chilly out there. So it's looking like November is going to start off warm, but middle parts of November is going to be very chilly. And according to the temperature outlook by the Climate Prediction Center, they're showing just this, with the western half of the country being well below average and chilly, while the eastern half of the country is going to be way above average. Next 8 to 14 days, really much of the same story. Much of the country is going to be well above average, although the GFS was showing some cold temperatures as we head into the middle parts of November. And with Election Day coming up, freedom is never more than one generation from extinction. The great quote from Ronald Reagan. So let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast for that. So I did skip over it, and I'm sorry about that. But as y'all are heading to the polls on November 5th, right around 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, it's looking like from Texas over into California, up in the Northeast, it's going to be pretty warm, while the central part of the country, over here from Kansas up in the Northwest, looking to be pretty chilly. So bundle up as you're heading to the polls. As far as precipitation goes, it's looking like from Texas up into Wisconsin, up into Minnesota, it's looking to be pretty soggy. Pack the umbrella. And up here in the Northwest, it's looking to be pretty snowy, so make sure you bundle up. And over here in the central part of the country and parts of the Northeast, looking to be pretty dry as well. So make sure you get out there and cast your vote, y'all. Our country's a mess right now. Hopefully it's not too glitchy for y'all. I know this scene that I've been using here lately has been pretty glitchy. But here is a webcam of a ski resort. It's looking like people are enjoying the snow out there. This is most likely in a winter storm warning area, and some ski resorts are actually opening this week, so that's pretty exciting. And speaking of the fall foliage, we gotta take a look at that. I mean, we already know that much of the country's at peak or past peak at this point, especially as we head into November. This is probably gonna be the last time I show you all this, as really much of the country's leaves are going to be falling off by this point. And hopefully y'all can see this. Anakista yesterday evening, looking at Mount LeConte. Yeah, let's see Mount LeConte yesterday evening. As we fast forward to 12:50 today, really can't see Mount LeConte again today. Pretty humid up there. But you can see some fall foliage down there though, so definitely pretty fall foliage. You want to send me fall foliage, send it over to my X and Facebook pages. I would greatly appreciate that. And Mr. Boner actually sent me a video yesterday of him traveling here to the Williams Weather headquarters. And I actually have Mr. Boner right here. So there was Mr. Boner. He didn't have much to say, but he finally made an appearance. He finally showed up. He came from Spookyville. And Mr. Boner told me to tell y'all to fix some Hershey's chocolate pretzel Halloween treats. Here's a recipe for that, by the way. Looks pretty good. And Thanksgiving's coming up as well. Where the turkey was laughing at the jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lantern's telling him to laugh it up because he's next. I'm going to name this jack-o'-lantern Bill Goldberg. And this turkey was dreaming that it was dinner, and that pumpkin was dreaming that it was dessert. And here is some of the popular candies here on Halloween. Here in Indiana, M&M's. Swedish Fish is the most popular candy in Kentucky. Red Hots are in Tennessee. Milk Duds down here in Mississippi, Alabama. Snickers in Georgia. Snickers is my favorite candy. Reese's is probably my second favorite. Kit Kat is over here in California, so put that in the comment section down below of what your favorite candy is. Mine's Snickers, of course. So, hope y'all enjoyed today's weather forecast. If you did, make sure you hit that like and share button so more folks are informed about the weather. Also, leave me some feedback in the comment section down below as feedback helps provide you, the viewer, better or more informed content in the future. Also, hit that subscribe button with bell notifications turned on because at Hero Wins Weather we try to make weather forecasting fun and informative. So basically, Trick or Treat is looking to be soggy out east, so pack an umbrella if Trick or Treat hasn't been postponed. Bundle up if you live out in the central and western half of the country. It's looking like some cold air and some snow is going to be possible up there. Next few days, looking like some severe weather is going to be occurring, so make sure you have alerts turned on your phone. It's looking like a nocturnal tornadic event could occur in the central plains on Hump Day. And for the next couple of weeks, it's looking like some drought relief could be in store with a volatile weather pattern occurring with an uptick in severe weather occurring in the central half of the country and some major snowstorms occurring out west. So appreciate all y'all for watching. Get out there and get all spooky and enjoy Halloween, y'all. And don't forget to turn those clocks back on November 3rd. We're entering fall back time, y'all, which is exciting. And don't forget to send me any weather photos or any sort of fall photos you want to send my way. I would greatly appreciate that. So have a happy Halloween. Appreciate all y'all for watching. And until next time, never stop forecasting.